This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Advertisement?
Nope, no advertisement.
Hey, cool.
They can hear us now, probably.
Wow.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. We're waiting to see if there's an advertisement. I don't think there is one.
Nope.
What a mysterious world we live in. Anyway, let's do one of these.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Welcome to stream number. Wait, what number are we on?
320?
320. Welcome to stream number Stonehearth development stream number 320. Mysterious landmarks with Allie, bird emoji,
and Sparkles, Angelo.
All right. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with us. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn on the music. That's what. Oh my gosh. No, not this. You didn't see that. You didn't see any of that. Okay, now the music is here.
That should
so
work.
that's
Let us know
better.
if it's like too loud.
Sorry about that.
Wait. Gotta write the agenda.
What?
Okay.
Well, we're still doing introductions.
Okay, hi.
Cool. Well, we've got it together, folks. Hello, and welcome to our stream. Thanks for joining us today. I'm super pumped about what we're going to be doing because it's really fun and exciting, and I have been occupied with lots of other things, and it's just super nice to be able to set aside a whole hour to jam on this with all of you. So today we're going to be painting some concept art for mysterious landmarks that we're hoping we can spawn in the landscape when you settle out with your hearthlings to take up a new town somewhere in the wilderness. Now, I don't know how many of you might have tuned into a bunch of streams ago. We kind of went over this big document with a lot of pictures of like waterfalls and landmarks. This is kind of feeding a little bit out of that, plus a bunch of crazy wizardry and witchcraft that artist Allie has been up to like actually get some of this stuff to happen, which is super cool. And what we're hoping that this does is when you... Oh, that's what we're... Man, it's like you've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Where would I be without you? But anyway, what we're hoping that this does for you as a player when you embark anew in this landscape, that when you're selecting where to settle down, you find interesting things that spark your imagination and kind of kickstart the story of what your town develops into, why they settled, honestly mostly on your own terms, since you're not gonna, like, for instance, see this mysterious and scary squid rock on the ground and then an NPC is going to come out and like exposit at you for 20 notifications. Like, that's just not going to happen. But then you as a player can see this thing and think, oh man, I'm going to have a town of cultists that live near this thing and like worship it and it's going to be awesome. Or, oh my gosh, we're going to like erect a barrier around it and like build bunny statues to like create protective energy and like keep the rest of the land safe.
So these things spawn in the world when you start the game, right?
Yeah, I think that's how we're planning, because we want you to be able to like see this stuff and be like, cool, this is the thing that I want to see. And it's
kind of like a little like story accent.
Yeah, like a little story accent.
It's not explicitly a story. It's just like, whoa, what's this thing?
We kind of have like, for me, there's already a moment in Stonehearth that does this, and it is pink rock in the desert. Every now and then, when you roll a map, a certain elevation of the mesas and buttes in the desert is pink, and I always am delighted when I see a pink rock, and I always want to put my town by it because nothing else in the desert looks like it. And even something so simple as a small color adjustment sparks a story for me.
So pink rock was kind of an accident.
An accident.
This is a little bit more on purpose.
This is a bit more on purpose, but in the spirit of that idea of like, hey, here's a cool landmark. It's gonna mean something to the context of my town, or hey, maybe I'll just ignore it. So we're actually going to be doodling in the desert today, since I've already got a couple for the Ascendancy that I've already done, and I wanted to kind of show those to you guys before we jumped over there and started doing stuff. But first, should we stop and see if we've got any questions?
Yeah, looks like there's a bunch of stuff here. Banto says, hello, new unstable release broke rickety branch saves? Maybe? Yes? I wish Chris was on stream right now. He would know. Or Justin.
Oh. Flabbergast is asking, what if cats had more than 4 legs?
Oh, right, yeah. So yeah, in general, as Stephanie is saying here, in general, between the building updates, we're not focusing on having backwards compatibility. But we are looking to have compatibility between the major alpha, so like between 23 and 24, when 24 is done.
Very cool. I miss playing this game, says Psycho Troop. My PC sort of passed away a month ago. Oh no, that's always super rough. Sir Asterix, you have not missed anything good. We were just doing introductions. Basola says, I knew Mally was a witch. Well, why didn't you tell us? What?
Some warning would have been.
It would have been, like, this has all been very shocking. Alright, cool. So, why is this happening?
Oh wait, hold on.
What is this? What? Okay, I see. we have a witch count going. Very important that we keep up with all of this. So anyway, as I was saying before, so all of this stuff is like super concept-y art. We may get to doing everything that you see here, but for the time being anyway, a lot of this is just spitballing. So to kind of run through some of what we've already drawn before we jump into doing a whale skeleton, because I've had that on the brain for forever.
Are you going to draw a whale skeleton here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be awesome. But some of the stuff that we've already done is this, and you know what, let's go ahead and, the Photoshop's mad with power again. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I'm always self-conscious about zooming in on my really noodly concept sketches because they're really poopy, but deal with it. But anyway, so the concept for this one is basically like it's an enormous boulder that you find like somewhere in the wilderness, but it seems to be etched in a kind of uncomfortable visage of a certain squiddy, awful monster that you might know about.
It's really uncomfortable to me that it's not aligned with the voxel grid.
Well, no, so okay, so
it's just like, whoa.
So here's the thing, like this is a more detailed doodle. I know it looks super not because it's concept art. Okay, so fun thing about concept art is it's not really illustration. The thing about concept art is it's really just supposed to like fuel the energy of what's gonna happen next. Illustration is when you take a lot of time and you lovingly render something and you make it picture perfect, and sometimes you need concept art that does that, but most of the time concept art is about like tearing things out really, really fast and hitting lots of ideas, which is why more often than not, they're going to look like this. So the thing that you see here is a bit more like what you're going to see in the world when you spawn. So it's going to be aligned to the grid unless, purposefully we don't want it to.
Right,
like that
to make
cool
it
thing.
spooky.
Yeah, like that cool thing in Frost Feast. So hey, maybe that's something that we could add to this. But for the time being anyway, you can see that this boulder is not quite natural. Someone or something has etched it into the visage of Cthulhu, and the ground around it appears to be like almost withering away. I added a couple of these like cool deadly trees everywhere to kind of like disperse it into the environment, and in a couple of these you'll see that that's really important. Like if we go to this one helpfully named Mawson Rock, I don't know what but you can see that there's
moss in the rocks.
There's moss on the rocks, but I have no excuses for why I name things that I do. But anyway, so the big cool thing about these are these just enormous laying stones, these big boulders that kind of rest in the valleys and make everything feel very peaceful. But the thing that kind of blends them back out into the rest of the landscape so that you don't feel like here's a whole bunch of green and bam, here's a big rock, are these collections of smaller rocks that kind of skirt out from that main epicenter. And especially as you get to like the outermost edges, you'll start to see shapes that are like definitely more relatable to the rocks that already spawn in the world that you can harvest, like just these little mini boulders. Wow, I'm really glad we scaled these numbers down. This is a very cluttered world. Anyway, so we've also got the legendary stump, which after I drew it, I realized how big this tree must have been, and I started to think about shrinking it, and then I thought, no wait, leave it, that's more interesting. So in my mind, this was like possibly like a giant, awesome, magic living tree, but who knows what it might mean to you. I think it'd be super cool if it had like fairy lights that kind of danced around it.
I think it would be cool if somebody made a mod where you just had like a real big tree that you can mine,
that
and
could
then
be
you
super
can like
cool.
live inside the big tree.
I think Mally actually brought up that it would be super neat to if you mined down around the fairy stump, or well, it's called fairy stump here, that you would encounter like roots and things that traveled into the earth. So that could actually be super cool. But anyways, like here be the remains of something that came before you, something that might have helped shape this land, something that infused it with a story before you got here that you can spitball off of.
Oh no, I tried to help, but then...
What's this doing?
There you go.
Okay, let's see. The Dark Monument. Glyphy. So this one is, hands down, the most exciting one. It's just a thing I drew on the ground. Okay, yeah. So
wait, so you look up real close and you're like, oh, the dirt's just a different color. But when you go up from the sky, you're it's sky riding.
So it's really
this aliens.
this one is incredibly simple, and I feel really cheatery about it. But it's also just kind of cool to see like, hey, this patch of grass is growing in this weird shape. Why? Do you build around it? Do you build something in the center? Like, how do you interact with that?
Oh, sorry, I need to add one thing.
Aliens, yes. Oh, okay. What are we doing now? Aliens. Aliens? Oh, that's me. I'm one of those.
Oh.
Well, no, I'm not an alien. I'm a bird. We've been through this.
Okay.
Okay, my goodness. Oh, Bossola says, it's just Raya's children playing pranks on the Ascendancy. So this shape has appeared in some concept art before, and to me it is the shrugging flower. It kind of looks like it's going, So that's what it is. If you look up here, oh, am I a liar? Oh, you know what? It's not in this one. It's in Moss and Rock. If you look up here, there's an enormous shadow of a much, much larger than usual bunny. You frightened me?
Sorry.
Okay. There's a much, much larger than usual bunny statue in the distance here that I forgot to erase, but it's probably for good reason in the end. It's just like megalithic and fun.
Oh, I can't see the notepad because the camera's on top. It's fine.
Is it?
I guess because our faces are like right there. Oh, there's a way that Max knows how to do stuff that like puts the notepad on the top of everything.
Did I do it? It's a little annoying because it's in the way, but we don't need 100% of the landscape. That would be a really big monument at that point. In fact, I would say at that point it's another biome. But this is neither here nor there. Oh, we could have made the chat shorter, but we like seeing all of you more than we like seeing the untitled notepad. Yeah. But we'll figure it out as we go. But thank you for the heads up. That was something that I completely missed.
Max told us a thing. Is that selected?
Alt-T? What have you done?
Did it do it?
Is it selected?
Aha! It did it. Cool.
What did it did?
If not, you can edit in Photoshop. It'll stay on top.
Oh. Wait, is it showing up in the thing? It's not showing up in the...
It's just...
Oh, we're scrolled down. Yeah. I'm the smarterest today. Good thing. Good to know. So, other than that, there is something that's a little more on the nose.
Oh.
So these are the
ruins. I love
the mysterious,
that idea.
The mysteriously titled Ruins of Phoenix. Perhaps hinting at an entire kingdom that came before yours. I'm still exploring exactly what these ruins look like. Mally actually did.
And then you could like mine down into them.
Yeah, something like that could be really cool. Mally did a really impressive mock-up of one of these with an entire building. The issue being that it's kind of hard to peek inside of it. It doesn't behave exactly like a building, so you can't just go into like RPG mode and stuff like that. So we started thinking about like, okay, what if we just like expose the top, like the years and generations have worn this place like completely down. So part of this was just tracing out interesting shapes in the perimeter, and I want to come back in here and kind of add some columns that lead up to this. This, I guess, used to be, perhaps this was a former town's fountain. And you'll notice that the phoenix looks a bit like a bird that we all know and appreciate in the Stonehearth universe. Perhaps. But anyway, I definitely want to come back in and attack the ruins a bit more ferociously in terms of like how they should look and how they should present themselves, because like I feel like these should feel almost as if they used to be like major city gathering places, like places of importance, not just like a random ramshackle building. And something like that could be really cool, like maybe if you saw a haunted hut in the woods and a witch lived there.
Witch count?
Well, we're alluding that there could be this. We haven't actually encountered it.
Okay.
So I would say that the witch count stays at 1.
Stays at 1?
Yes. But, yeah. Other than that, if we pop... Oh, snowy. If we pop over to this one called Mountainous, you'll see 2 others. Now, this one is more like a natural landmark, so it's like a little geyser that you see in the mountains. It's got a collection of rocks kind of piled up at the center and gushing out water from the top, possibly from an underground reservoir, definitely not from a hidden whetstone.
Sir Asterix says, oil well.
But having stuff like this, and again, Mally did some really beautiful mock-ups of concepts like this already, and what we're trying to do right now is figure out how to get the spirit of those to like really blend in with like the shape language of our massive, chunky, funky landscape. And here, one of the things that's really helping these kind of like blend back into the scenery are the trees. These are like super doodly versions, but they're basically meant to imply that they're like trees from the surrounding areas that kind of again disperse out from this epicenter that help it kind of flow back into the scenery. One that has a bit more trouble with that is the tree shrine over here. The blending on this one, what I was hoping to have happen is that the grass around this recession is a very similar value to the stone around it, so that while there's kind of a temperature and hue shift as you get closer to that depression, it's not like, bam, here is some grass, but I don't think it's quite there yet. And then you obviously have these trees that don't really exist anywhere else, and I think that's one of the things that makes this area very special and meaningful, that if you like found something like this in your world, it's like, oh my gosh, if I harvest these trees, will I get seeds? Can I cultivate pink groves in my town or in the area around my town?
That's very cool.
And then like whatever it is that you decide to do with this, like, again, this sort of sigil carved into the earth or growing in the earth, however you choose to translate that.
We should add some glowing things too.
I mean, I love things that glow.
We got the glowing things now.
It's everything that I love.
So, Pick of Death says, we need a werewolf encounter. That sounds like a pretty cool mod. Like, the idea of, like, one of their hearthlings, or no, a werewolf could come in, bite one of your hearthlings, and then, like at night, they turn into a werewolf and, like, attack other people.
Sad.
Yeah. That would be funny.
I mean, it would definitely give you some urgency.
Oh, these are good ideas. Dwarven
fairy
Hall,
ring!
Fairy Ring, Mushroom
Oh, we should
Ring.
write these down. Hang on, let's do this.
Dwarven Hall.
This from the chat. Oh no, things are gonna get weird.
It's fine. We can just
Dwarven
go back
Hall,
up.
Fairy Ring. Let's see.
Oh, Alchemist cures the werewolf hearthling. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
that could be cool. All right. So, I came to the stream today, again, apologies, kind of primed for something that, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we fiddled with the numbers. Look at this. Look, it's just tumbleweeds and prickly pears for days.
What Allie's talking about is that she worked on changing the numbers for the biome generation. So now when you embark, you should see fewer sort of...
You should not see this clumpy madness quite to this extent. I always felt like
trees and things being spawned.
This was just a little intense, and I wanted that landscape to relax a little bit, so the acacia trees would really kind of take center stage and look really beautiful against everything, and then you have like smaller clusters of things that kind of spread out and felt better, instead of just like, here are so many things, even though you're in the desert. It just seems kind of awkward. For some reason, I really remember it not being as much. Ooh, quicksand.
Quicksand,
cool.
wishing well. Okay, so you're gonna paint some stuff?
So Sir Asterix is asking, are real life fairy rings mushrooms? Absolutely. They are a single mushroom, and the stuff that you see on the outside is all of its little reproductive bells. Yeah, fingers.
Yeah.
It's saying hi and waving at you.
Ew.
Mushrooms are so scary. Don't think about it.
Banto says, would be nice if the underground world was more interesting with natural caves and places underground with like an old mine you can dig down in similar to Minecraft.
That would be really cool. We on Team Stonehearth also ache for some kind of solution to the caves problem.
This technology that we're talking about here, we're like spawning different like pre-crafted or like authored like units of whatever, like ruins or whatever, could put caves in.
That could be super cool. Because then you could like go in there and find like cool mushrooms.
But like there's still a problem of placing them in the right places, and like how do you find them? And
game, no. Mountain, no. Oh geez.
Could be done.
Ooh, hot springs. That could be cool.
Oh.
Love it. Let's see. Really.
Oh, crystal caves. Oh, such good ideas.
Yes. I was actually concepting some crystal stuff earlier for Clan Amberstone. Oh, and I forgot. I actually took a picture of pink rock. I didn't have to just like talk about it like it wasn't here. So this right here is pink rock. You've probably encountered one, but this thing has always, for whatever reason, managed to mean a whole lot to me whenever I find one. Though now I also look out for sugar bills in the rocks. Let's see. So, Deer Island and Bunny Island.
And then snow monkeys. I think those are all from Japan, and that's why he's saying, okay, so
No,
Japan is cool.
no, Stephanie, don't ask people to Google octopus stinkhorn mushroom. It's so upsetting. She told me to do the same thing while we were eating. Unfortunately, I didn't do it while I was eating. I did it later. It is actually probably a hideous alien sent to this planet to destroy us.
Alien count.
Okay. Cool. Alright, we're getting somewhere.
Ah.
Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna Google whale skeleton on this screen just in case Google decides to show us something horrifying.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, this is actually looking pretty good.
If you looked up like whale massacre or something, that would be like.
Yeah, but I don't trust the internet, especially not when we're live, because it always takes the moment to show you something just like horrifying. All right, so folks, these are amazing. I love whale skeletons. I did an illustration about them when I was still in school. I think they're super cool. So we have a couple of challenges here. First of all, I suppose the reason that this is so cool to me is like, I love the idea of doing something like this in the desert because it kind of tells a story about what was it before it was a desert. It used to be covered in ocean and then everything receded, and like this is like an enormous fossil of what used to be there. Like that's really, really cool. Sort of like barite roses in the Midwest that were formed by like receding waters and like only in certain areas because of like mineral deposits. The things that you find in the earth tell a story about how like the whole thing came to be. And that's really, really fascinating to me, and I love it. So animal bones in general.
Whales.
Right, maybe there wasn't an ocean. Maybe it crashed here a long time ago, and it's not even a fossil yet. That could be cool. Again, whatever it ends up, like the significance really goes into your guys' hands once everything is ended. But anyway,
Kraken skellies. Just giant beaks.
So I have a friend, this is a not quite tangent, I have a friend who was a fishmonger, and she collected squid beaks. She had like a little tray of them. It was super upsetting. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at some work things while I was streaming. I shouldn't do that, force of habit. So anyway, back to a challenge that we have here. So, first of all, we've got to figure out a cool way to plant this thing in the dirt. But more importantly, we've got to kind of translate its shape into something that feels like it would look good in our game. Now, illustration and concept art is super cheatery. It takes a very long time to draw things mathematically voxel perfect, so I don't really try to. It also kind of cramps your style once you finally get into Cubicle and you're like actually pushing and pulling on things. Like you don't want to be sitting there following like a Lego template. You want to actually have that room to breathe and translate, especially if people are passing stuff around. Like I might not be the one who models this, and I don't want whoever is going to be like, oh no, I've got to follow this to the letter. We're creating this to kind of like influence the direction. So just want to set some expectations that I'm not going to be drawing this like voxel perfect. It's probably going to be the wrong size and really wonky looking.
Why is GTA 5 like one of the suggested tags?
Because it's the internet. I don't know. So let's find one of these that we like. Wait, why is it one? You know what? I give up.
I spell blade.
Weird. That looks pretty good. Well. Oh, whoa.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, look, it's got vestigial legs! So it can run really fast. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. That looks like a big bird. It's a seabird. Honestly, any of these would do fine. I'm just picky. They look pretty good. No, yeah. More spine. More drawing. This is so exciting, I know. This is the part where my art brain is being super finicky. Let's grab this one. He looks kind of plush and happy. I'm just gonna copy this image. I'm gonna paste it right over here. I can't see it. Now I can. Oh, it's very big. Friend, I do not need this. Alright, so now we got a reference. And working with references is very good. Because I'll be like, it's a whale skeleton, and then someone else will be like, that's not a whale. Whales don't look like that.
It's up to interpretation. Maybe it's an alien skeleton. Think about it.
I don't want to, because
I
that
wish
would
we
be
had
scary.
2 Cintiqs, because we got 2 keyboards, and I can participate on this keyboard all the time.
That's true. I've been thinking that we should.
That'd be hilarious if there's two drawing pads.
You know what? This is upside down, isn't it? I've been thinking that we really need to get a Cintiq in here because, like, I'm working with this trusty Intuos. I used to work on Intuoses all the time. In fact, I think my ancient Intuos 2 is over here. Like, look at this.
We do have
Look at
two
this guy. It
drawing
weighs a
pads, though.
country ton. It's awesome. I've had this thing for years. But I have been drawing more on like tablet-y screen surface things, and I've kind of lost my edge with the ones that have that disconnect. So this might be a little fiddly. And before we got on, oh my gosh, that is so weird. So yeah, I've been thinking that it'd be really good to actually like get in here. Let's see. Pick of Death says, head first in the ground when a hearthling mine, its tail may fall on them. Oh gosh. So you mean like you want to find it like this? Yes, like a big old tempura fried shrimp. There she blows. I don't think
that
you
tells
see
a
the
story for sure.
I don't know if you actually see the findle on a whale skeleton, do you? Do they have findles? No, they just have a dinosaur tail. Well, that's not very exciting.
We can add whatever.
You know what?
Children are not learning about whale skeletons from
This is our fantasy, so we can add whatever we want. Yeah. Take that, actual whale. Wait, the actual whale is now sad because we're ignoring how whales work. I think that's where its eye is.
Radiant Mally says, what's a findle? You know.
What is a findle? What isn't a findle?
Think about it. I'm just saying look into it.
I'm not really sure about anything. Okay, so this is pretty fun. And if you like mine down, you like have just tons and tons of whale reaching down, and then clutched in its beak is something of terrible importance.
A whale beak.
Whale beak. This is the beak. Anyway.
Okay.
So this feels like super, super insane. I don't know if I want to draw with this brush. Give me a minute. Oh no, it's doing the thing and I can't get to my tools. Isn't that clever? Oh, this is gonna be a pain. Now I'm gonna actually toggle all the things. Now I can, because I did something. The usual? Did I upload it? How did I not? Oh, did I reset my preferences before I did everything? Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Why did I do that? I tell you what. I'm a dingus. I ruin everything. Let's just do that. Very good. Now we're better. Now we're back. Hi, Megashub. Welcome to the stream. Is it? Oh, no, not like that. So this is kind of the troublesome part. Okay, that's a little better. I don't want to be zoomed in that close, but then I don't have, like, it won't let me actually, like, grab and toggle things around unless I'm more zoomed in, or unless everything is full screen, and then we can't keep up with the chat easily. So we don't have, like, super cool telekinesis just yet.
We're working on it.
Every day, I say, let's see. Oh, hey, super smart. You don't have both of them on. Cool. Minimum diameter certainly does not need to be 0. Flow is way too small.
Moai says, what does Angelo usually specify in on Team SH?
What do you specify in?
I don't know what I specify in.
Let's see.
Yeah, fabulous hair.
we do. Oh, wait. Oh, this is unfortunately drawn on the whale layer, so I'm going to just cut that really quick. Do one of these. So I can move this. Now see, this is the fun of perspective. Now it's a really big whale.
Yeah, now it's real big.
Just like, what is that even? I don't know. And we're gonna set this layer to multiply so we can see what we're doing. So we're gonna really goof this up. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. Alright, so, you know what? We're gonna make it up as we go. I was thinking maybe we should probably do some doodle sketches of the whale just to get a feel for how it's gonna translate, because, you know...
I just imagine, like, rib bones sticking out.
Yeah, right? So that's the thing. But,
like,
okay, but here's the thing. So we've got it 2 ways.
Maybe they flipped upside down when they were dying.
Belly up.
Like, whoa, I'm dying. That's what the whale said.
Are you sure? Oh no, my whale.
No. I'm a whale and I'm dying.
Okay. So we can do this two ways. One is we can flip them upside down and show rib bones. The other is we can leave them right side up, show some of that cool eye socket business and a massively cool spine.
Yes. Solace says he's working on MP right now, unless that's recently changed recently. Yes, that is true. I am working on multiplayer with Linda and Morgan.
All right. So there's no reason we can't try this both ways. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and try and more or less draw the entire world. This acacia tree is gonna bum us out here, so we're gonna do a quick mask. Promise I'm not gonna name my layers super ridiculous things in front of you guys.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm very self-conscious about my Photoshop habits. I dread every day that someone is gonna get my files and be like, "What? Why is this layer called this?" And it's just like a lot of nonsense. I feel like I need to like give you guys an example now.
Sir Asterisk says MP, so they're adding magic? Yes.
Yep, we're adding lots of magic.
Mana points? Magic points?
Like this one is called Mossin. I don't even know what that is.
Moss and Rocks.
Sure, Mossin Rocks. Legendary Stump? Stumpy. Stumper? Stumpy color?
It's fine.
Oh my goodness. And those are playing it very cool. I was expecting something much worse to come up. Granted, they're never like curse words or anything. They're always just me being super dumb because I think no one knows. But they know. Oh right, that's what we were doing. We're not even on the right layer anymore. I was masking out this acacia tree while I was rambling. That way we don't have to dance around it. So this is just super handy. It clears up the landscape and gives me a cleaner palette to work with, and I can always come back in and, oh no, Windows. I'm not supposed to have this power!
The people demand sky whales.
Oh, sky whales.
Draw a little sky whale. Just
okay,
like,
fine.
Just
Jeez, give me a second. Okay, we've got to look.
Whale.
We're already at 6:30.
That's fine. That's fine.
And we've only just begun drawing the whale, so give me just a minute to prioritize. My goodness, my gracious, what am I even doing? Just cleaning up some of this brush.
Should have done the screenshot after your numbers cleanup, because that really would have fixed this situation.
Well, I took this picture a while ago. Giving me sass. Listen to this. You know my life.
You don't know my life? You don't know my choices?
You don't know who I am. Well, now we're getting aggressive. Okay, so someone wants a sky whale. I whale draw this.
No. No.
What do they... How to sky whale? First, draw a sweet potato.
Yeah. It's like drawing Homer Simpson.
Draw a sweet potato. I'm drawing a sky whale from memory, which is cool because I've never seen one. They got the flip tail.
Mm-hmm.
Bloop. Like this. Big smile.
Mm-hmm.
Little eye.
And then very small wings. There you go. Perfect.
I feel like I need to see its baleen. There we go. It's eating sky plankton. I can't draw those because they're microscopic.
Yeah,
we'd have to zoom in really far. And then even then we wouldn't be able to see them. I don't think the sky whale can see them. That must be like really great, like running around eating solely on blind faith.
Just like, I just move and I get full. Like, I don't know.
Do you think whales ever get full?
Oh. Are they just constantly hungry? What is it like to be in the life of a whale?
Alright.
How far can you see?
I don't know. I'm suddenly really into this drawing of a whale, and I should not be, because this is not where we need to be right now. Why? Why
it's
is this
perfect.
so
Ship
fun?
it. Oh wait,
okay.
no, actually, you need sparkles.
Okay, you know what? Just for you. Just for you. Do they even still have this? We're gonna go big. We're gonna go super big. Because the selected layer is empty. Take that. Okay, where is it?
It's only gonna be applied to those pixels.
Man, lens flare got dumb.
Yeah.
Remember when lens flare was cool?
Yeah, I remember.
I guess I'm just gonna have to draw one. This is exactly how we should be using our time.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
And we'll do like a little contrail. You can tell where she came from. And she's singing in her beautiful voice, "Follow your dreams." Anyway, that's magical.
Okay, cool.
Now that we've put that to rights, let's move this guy back up so we can see Beak, our whale, our former whale, are now bones. Okay. So, emboldened by the fact that...
Chemtrail whales.
Right.
Chem whales.
Chem whales. Okay, so... Now I know that in our game, we're not really going to get like a sinuous S-curve. So I want to try and be good about this. Again, not exact, but at least a little considerate. Because I don't think we're going to like rig this guy and sink it into the ground. I feel like that would probably cause issues.
I mean, part of the idea is that you could mine some of the blocks that are put, so they should be voxels.
Exactly. It'd be really weird if you like walked up to it and couldn't access it. Because again, if you can't interact with it, then that's us saying this part of the map is for this, and you don't get a say in that. And like, I will not put something in the game that doesn't.
Oh, spooky.
Fix it. Yay! Yay! Sorry, I don't like the dark. Alright, so this looks like one of those super finny back dinosaur guys, but we do want to exaggerate that shape.
Solace says haunt count +1.
If we must.
Okay.
You know, anytime we stream, it always comes back to being haunted. Maybe we're cursed. Do you ever get that feeling like you're cursed?
Sometimes.
Do you think Nikki wants the Sky Whale for the UI?
Yes.
Decidedly. I don't know, we come up with some pretty great stuff when we're live. I found, oh man, I don't know if any of you here...
Welcome back, Bruno.
Hi, Bruno. Blame the Sky Whale. Windfish skeleton. Yes. Everyone agrees. This is good. Alright, so I drew, so here's, I need to actually vocalize my train of thought while we're talking about sky whales and how great all that is. We are obviously making the wrong game. We need to pivot, like, right now.
Pivot.
Sky whale simulator.
Sky whales only.
Blindly eat. Sparkle forever. You're a sky whale. Rainbow.
Blindly eat. Sparkle forever.
Okay,
good.
so, quick train of thought. The doodle that I'm drawing right now is basically a whale skeleton that is submerged, like, from the top in. And
oh, I get it. That's the back of the spine.
Yeah, I'm very unsatisfied with this. Like, it's not exaggerated, like, nearly enough. Like, Stonehearth is not real life. Our people have heads this big, and bodies this big, and hands this big, and little leggies. Like, if we do a 1-to-1 anything in this game, it's gonna look super freaky and out of place. We gotta make it cartoony. And I mean, look at this. If you imagine what her skeleton would have looked like, for instance, we're gonna do some science drawings now. And these teal, wait, is that gonna be visible? Let's use pink. Yeah.
Yeah, FOF. Love that.
Yeah, this one. It's gonna vibrate. So she would be like, here's her cranium bone, here's her beak, and here's her spine, and then here's her like cool like lumpy spine, and then here's her rib cage. So it's none of this like beep. It's like a big beautiful arc. Man. Curves. The things we can't have. But that's
this
okay.
looks kind of like a bird skull a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Giant
Maybe
crow skeleton.
Maybe it would be cooler if we went with something like this to actually like bury the head, so you'd have to dig it up, and then you could just have like a pit with a whale skull in it.
Well, you know, you're an archaeologist, and it would be cool if you could mine bone and make like bone stuff, like
that would be really
bone
cool.
swords and shields and
bone decor,
bone plates,
bone soup,
bone signs,
whalebone soup,
bone daggers.
It always comes back to soup.
Vestigial legs. Bone vestigial legs. I guess that works.
Like that.
Where?
I drew vestigial legs.
Oh.
I'm getting rid of them because they're disturbing.
bone sacrifice pit to the old gods.
The Timo says, really need to make more fun streams of random buildings. Actually, yeah, so maybe the next time, we do one of these, because we have a Wednesday stream coming up really soon, and we also have a mean need for some new templates. So, and to be fair, they're actually more along the lines of converting some of our current templates to the new builder, but some of them are going to need a tiny bit of remodeling.
Timo was saying, I meant myself.
You. Okay, well, that would also be good.
Yeah, that would be great.
We really like that. We want to see your cool buildings.
Bone armor, skeleton villagers. Love it.
Welcome to the Skelly Village. Alright, so this I'm feeling a bit more. We've got, like, the top of the ribs sticking out and these, like, great huge fins. Mm-hmm. So, like, I feel like if you saw this at a distance, you might think it was some kind of weird plant. Could look like a fern.
Skeleton Viking village, huh?
Well, there probably aren't going to be any whale skeletons in the Northern Alliance, though I really just want whales in the Northern Alliance.
Where would the whales live?
In the sky!
Oh, right.
I'm yelling. I shouldn't. I'm sorry my dander got up. I'm sorry, Angelo. I didn't mean to yell. I'm just too excited.
I forgive you.
Okay, thank you. Whew. I'll bake you an apple.
Oh yeah, save me an apple.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna... Oh, I don't know if this is stream talk. I was gonna, since tomorrow is Friday, I was gonna bake some apples and bring them in to share with everybody. Because they're just super yummy. And I've been on a baked apple kick. I actually had a couple of cooking adventures recently, but this is definitely not stream talk. Whales are stream talk. Alright, so these shapes are very thin.
The Timo says, I think I'll have to plan a whale bone house now, I suppose. Can those sky whales have windfish tribute sounds?
I love that song. Okay. Alright, and so we're gonna break it out a little further. So we'd want these to peek out a little bit in a curve. I know we're not supposed to have those, but just to kind of like help sell the illusion of this giant thing with volume, even though the ribs would definitely be boxy. I mean, at best we might be able to, do some steppiness, but this is all like when we do the version where it's flipped upside down, man, it's hard to get precise on the Intuos. I have definitely lost my edge on this machine. But if you think about it, like just looking at the number of shapes in this spine that I'm roughing in, if you imagined like all of those pieces curving like one after the other, the thing would look like a garbled mess except from just a few angles. So the good news with this guy is it would just be very straight. Stonehearth, so anything can happen. Let's see. Kitty Doom says, "Ahoy! Seems fourth try is the charm for trying to watch." Well, welcome. Glad you could make it.
Yes,
we are drawing a dead whale. It died a long time ago.
Yeah, don't feel bad.
Of natural causes, I'm sure. I don't really want to think about what the sky whale's natural predators are. Hummingbirds.
Oh no, like tons of tiny little hummingbirds.
Yeah. They fly in a swarm and get caught in their daily...
It fell out of the sky. Sky shark, that's true.
I like the idea of hummingbirds. The reality of hummingbirds is terrifying. They're really mean. They're super aggressive.
The Timo says humming whales. I don't know about that.
That would basically be the narwhal of the sky whale, because then it would just be like...
Oh, true.
Wait. I will undo this, because I really like her just as she is. But, just really quick. That would look like this. Bleep. That's a beep. Mm-hmm. And, it's got a little beep mouth, because they can open their mouths, and it's horrifying.
Sky narwhals.
And then they go... Bleep. That's their tongue. For drinking flower juice. Which is also silly and small, so it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. The sound effects are important, guys. Trust me. If you don't make sound effects...
See you later, Solus.
See you later. Thanks so much for coming to the stream. But yeah, if you don't make sound effects when you're doodling, you should, because it's fun. I don't know what I was going to say. Alright, so we've got a bunch of cool rhythms. It would probably be better to just block in some silhouettes since I'm having so much trouble getting getting precision on this guy. So we'll just kind of lighten this up a little bit since it's not terribly important. I'll probably go back in and do some doctoring on these later. Let's see, that's not going to really show up a whole bunch. Also, the flow is still down, so that's going to hurt. That's going to be really yellow in this landscape. Let's grab, what do we want? How about a U? That's way too dark. That's fine. But I just want to kind of get a feel for the shapes that are going on here. And then we'll flip them over. We'll flip over one next to this, turning into a whale graveyard. That's what's going to happen next. This might get a little whale haunted.
Oh no.
I feel like a whale ghost would be really hard to deal with, but also really beautiful to listen to.
A whale ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah. At first. And then you'd be like, we've got to go. This whale is way too annoying. Like, just like sky whale ghost singing all night long.
I think I might actually sleep through that. That might
help you sleep.
Maybe, yeah, right. That might be what's been missing all the time. So I'm a terrible insomniac. So
all you needed to do was move to a whale graveyard.
I just need to summon a whale ghost. That is perfect. I'll just have a little whale ghost seance. Reach out to my nearest whale ghost neighbor and be like, "Whale ghost, can you sing me to sleep? I beg you." Alright. So again, since I'm having a hard time,
live on a houseboat. That's a good idea.
That always seems like a terribly charming idea, doesn't it? To live on the water. So right, since I'm having a hard time jamming out detail on this tablet, and I'm so sorry guys. Next time I will either have my little no brain Cintiq from home hooked up since it's super portable, or I'll talk to folks here and see if there's something we can do about our setup, because it really is silly. We do art streams. We should have something that we can draw on in here. Because like you feel like, oh, it's like riding a bike. You pick up the Intuos and you're fine, and it's just been so long. But since I'm having a hard time like drawing the details in, what I'm doing right now is just using silhouette to give me a feel for these shapes. So these colors aren't final. These shapes probably aren't even super final. All this is very like rough ballpark. And then like all of the cool stuff that you're gonna find when you dig underground. I kind of love the mystery of this too, where it's like you don't even see the skull, so you're like, what is this? Is this a dinosaur? And then you dig and it's a whale. And then you have so many questions. Unless you came to this stream and we preempted the entire thing by saying how great it would be to find a whale skeleton in the desert.
Well, then they would be like, oh yeah, I know, it's a sky whale.
I know, it's a sky whale. See, you guys know the truth. There was never an ocean here. Ever. Ever. There's no oceans. Anyway, sky whale.
Okay, cool. Sky whale.
Okay.
Now upside down whale.
Okay. Okay. Just sort of feels like the shadow coming off of it. But yeah, so you dig under, you get the grand reveal of like what this cool thing is and who lives there. I don't know. Probably a real cool guy. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so I might need to...
I like the giant shrimp tail.
I do too. Like the tempura tail is kind of charming. It reminds me.
Are we gonna have any like really big set pieces like that where you can like only spawn one in the map? But it's
so actually, we were talking a bit about that. The idea is that you're not gonna find like gobs and gobs and gobs of these. Otherwise, it's just gonna feel really cluttered and ugly. Like Stonehearth is kind of. At the moment, it's there's not quite enough stuff, but at the same time, because it is so consistent, it doesn't get to the point where you just feel like you're looking at gobs and gobs and gobs of details and noise. Like that consistency actually helps your eyeballs out a lot. So we want to like add diversity and like shake things up a bit without turning it into just like pain for your eyeballs, or worse, like completely messing up the way like the biome feels. We want to maintain that identity for each of the places that you play in. So the idea with these landmarks is that you're gonna have like just a couple across the entire map. Some feel a bit more like natural natural landmarks, sort of like the geysers.
But
or-
like they'll have different frequencies, like
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that are like bigger or like specialer.
Yeah,
will be,
but
like,
then you have stuff
more
like
rare.
but then you have stuff like the Cthulhu Rock, which is like if you found a bunch of these that would tell a horrifying story maybe, so maybe that might be cool, but in general, like I feel like the whale might not be a good one for this because I think it would be awesome to find lots of whale skeletons on your map, but like more that feel like it's appropriate to only find one or two.
Oh my god, I already love it.
This feels really fun.
Okay.
I would build a town in that ribcage.
Feeshrine says, "Are we ever going to get the ability to put farms inside buildings like greenhouses?"
You
That's
could
not.
cheat it.
You could cheat it, I guess, if you built it over.
Yeah, if you just
built the wall around some dirt, but don't put a floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so it's not planned right now, but personally, I would like to have the ability to put farms on any kind of terrain, because right now it's like only on dirt type things.
Mhm. You can put farms in caves.
Oh, that would be cool.
I used to do that. I don't know why.
Landmarks. Sir Asterix says, landmarks should have a quest tied to them, a second storyline.
That would be really, really cool if they did have like some kind
like
of
a thing that happens.
like something that did draw them in. I think there's that level. So there's like a passive level of functionality to them where it's like you see them in the world and it inspires you to tell a story. And I think that's like the baseline goal
like
of
the
these
main
things.
thing, yeah.
Like we would definitely want you to riff off of them, but at the same time, like if it did get to be something that we did have the cycles to spare, I would love it even if it was just in the form of like a cool drop that tied into something. But like I feel like that would be like a very grand goal for these, and I know at the moment we're not planning to do stuff like that, just because at the moment we're tied up in a bunch of just kind of like huge tier stuff. Like right now we're working on the Titan encounter, we're working on Clan Amberstone, which is the rabbits. I spent all day drawing like quest rewards for them, so that when you interact with them, like you get decorations in the style that come from their town, as like again that little nudge of visual history in your game that shows that hey, you had this interaction this time you played. And we want to make sure that the things that are on our plate are things that we're like really knocking out of the park to the best of our ability. I know on the content team we're kind of juggling 3 things at once right now, so it's a little hectic.
I want to address some things in the chat. So Mr. Akimo says multiplayer password determination. That is true. We have another multiplayer. We have another, I guess, branch that we're releasing today that is for testing multiplayer. So just there should be a post on Discourse about that.
That's so cool.
We're looking to get some feedback on that. And oh wait, go up a little bit. Oh, people are
I'm sorry.
chatting.
Wait, Windows hates me?
What? You can move the dirt. Yeah, if you can move the dirt, it would be easy. That's a good point. Like if we could place terrain tile, then you could like place them inside buildings.
Is VLC Media Player freaking out?
I don't know.
It's kind of flashing through a bunch of titles right now.
Weird. VLC.
Do you guys hear like crazy weird things happening with the music, or no? It seems to be behaving. Maybe it just saved up a bunch of heads ups.
Weird.
Sorry. Windows is a huge, but man, you guys missed the fun. Like, remember the old days where I used to come on the computer and everything was broken and you'd have to watch me fix it for 30 minutes? Well, I had another one of those, but I've learned to come in here an hour before the stream so I can fix it without you guys heckling me.
That's a good idea.
But I had to like get in there and get my hands dirty and tell Windows not to ignore my tablet.
Windows sound killing. I tend to dig
the
dig
error
under
noise
the...
is repeating. It's
is
this.
it this?
Maybe
Let's just turn that off.
let's go ahead and kill it. I hate to kill the music, but I don't know why it's
So
doing
many
that.
message sounds.
I'm
okay.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay. The rabbit people are being
Yes,
worked on.
the rabbit people are being worked on.
I actually thought it was my computer. Sorry, everyone. Your sky whales
It
are
might
offending
actually
Windows.
be that Windows doesn't know how to process sky whales. Okay.
Okay.
So Radiant Mally said not the music, but the chime was coming up because every time, like, we were getting a slew of notifications that VLC Player was changing the track.
Why would it do that?
I don't know. I've never seen that before, but I also don't really use VLC Player that much. So.
Okay. Determination. Yes, that is the password. For multiplayer. Same as closing and yep.
It's the Sky Whale sound. Wow. Is that where they got that sound from?
This is pretty haunting. This is.
Oh, okay.
That could have been a ghost.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Haunt
sorry.
count.
So sorry that you guys were hearing chimes.
Oh
while we were
God,
rambling.
it's Clippy. Haunt count.
Well, we're more haunted than we are being invaded.
Okay, cool. It's over now.
Jackie, no.
Great.
Sorry, my phone is ringing. It possessed our music player. Can I have my? Can you not? Can you not do that? I need that.
Okay, go.
Cool. Thank you. Fun on a bun. Wait, why? Why did that happen?
I don't know.
That's my phone.
There you go.
Okay. Stonehearth Max is asking if a flying... Oh, hey, you've got a good point. I think that the flying whale is an honorary bird. Is bird?
Bird.
Yeah, is bird. I think since the whale is so big, counts as 2 birds.
Mm-hmm.
So, 3. Okay.
Cool. Now we got that all tallied
This
up.
is accurate bird math, in my opinion. But anyway, so... Feeling like these need to go bigger, so we're going to use that handy-dandy lasso tool. What saves us so much time. And just do some cheating. Beep!
Oh, nice.
Very good.
The Timo says, you guys hiring at all? Currently unemployed and you guys seem awesome. Oh, thanks, Timo. I don't think we're hiring right now. Do we have anything open?
I don't think so at the moment. Like, we're all kind of nose to the grindstone in our little sub-teams right now, and it sure is. It's a lot of fun. Oh, wait a minute. That's why it feels weird. Feel like your pencil's too soft? Adjust your flow.
Sorry, Timo.
Sorry. It's gonna be okay. It's weird, like, I do love not having to look through my hand. It bothered me so much when I first started using the Cintiq, because this is just like, you can see exactly where your cursor is, you're just in the zone, you're not worrying about it, it's super flowy. Oh man. Okay, so this is going to be super goopy. So this definitely feels really terrifying. It's like, is that a mouth? No, it's a whale, but you don't know that. Well, you guys do. I feel like you definitely see some, like, plants and stuff kind of, like, growing around these.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kind of back to that desert narrative of like, I don't want Raya's children's desert to feel like desolation. It should feel like a place that is very much vibrant and very much alive, and that, like, this sort of thing is part of it's part of its story, it's part of its cycle. So where you see things like decaying into the earth, you also see things like growing out of it, and maybe someday you'll see a city growing out of it. And that again kind of brings back to that story, and I really love that.
I like the idea of, like, digging up a big skull and then, like, it's like this really cool skull that I build, like, the centerpiece of my town around, and they're like, I don't know what this was, but I know it was a sky whale.
Yep. It will always be a sky whale for me. Which is fun, though, because originally I was like, oh man, what if the desert used to be an ocean? And this is what the stream is for.
Oh, is it Timo, not Timo?
Oh, Timo. Oh, I'm sorry, Timo.
Timo from
We'll fix it.
Sorry.
Alrighty-roo. Well, I guess we're kind of coming up on the hour, unfortunately. But this is super cool. This is...
Oh, it is Timo. Okay,
Oh,
got it.
Oh, so you are Timo. Sorry, Coasters Paul. We're actually not going to be going on for too much longer. Just a couple minutes to catch any last-minute questions that you guys might have, or suggestions. Honestly, if you guys have more suggestions for cool stuff that you'd like to stumble across in the desert, I'd be happy to take down some suggestions before we're out of here. But yeah, sadly, we are wrapping up just a little bit. Oh, where's my stuff? There's my stuff. Let me borrow that color again. Bring that back up. So yeah, We already took down a bunch of really cool suggestions from you guys that I think will live really happily in the temperate biome for sure. Some of these I think could be in both, like the Crystal Cave, the hot springs I think would be really fun. I know, hot springs in a desert, why would you want that? I don't know. Cool geysers I think would be really awesome. Quicksand, absolutely, that one is very specific. Sky whale accomplished.
Quicksand would be cool because it's like a little trap, you know?
I wonder if we could get it to function like that.
I think so.
Like, I'm kind of, because it's like, I want to be precious about your guys' time, and I don't want to be like, engineers, I drew this, spend all of your time making it a thing. Like, that, you guys are busy working on a million other things, so it's like, I know that on a surface level, these things have to be, like, narrative and cosmetic, but still, there's a part of my baby heart that just wishes. Say, quicksand, you float. You float in quicksand. So I know something that I'd love to experiment with in the glacier anyway would be to take that geyser and make a little lava geyser. Just like in the arts. Like, I'm still really into that idea.
Oh, Spellblade says, I think actual oasis would be cool. Clusters of flowers, cacti, and trees around pools of water. That would be really cool.
Actually, I'd love to see a wildflower outbreak. Because those are gorgeous in the desert. Just see this flare of color.
Coaster Paul says, what's been the highlights of this stream? Well, I don't know what the highlights are, but we talked about putting like set pieces into the world when we generate. So that's what we're looking at here with whale bones.
So basically, yeah, we're coming up with a list and some concept art for like really cool landmarks that you find in the land upon embarking. That you can build your town around or avoid like the plague or mine for treasure or whatever it means to you, whatever it comes to mean to you. And whale skeleton is something that's been on my mind for a really long time. Even before we started like actually dealing with all this, we've got drawings of like Varanus bones in the desert from 1 million years ago.
Bonta says Windows sound's been a highlight.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and then
I will never do it again.
Also,
I didn't do it in the first place.
We mentioned the multiplayer stream. I think Logo linked it earlier. Multiplayer password to branch.
It's determination?
Determination.
I'm just going to go ahead and paint that a little bit lighter to give us the feeling of some depth. There's more contrast on this one here, so your eye perceives that one as closer. As we say, it advances. This is why I went to school. Let's see.
Determination. Stephanie's now yelling in the chat.
Stephanie's wily. Everybody be careful. You know what? We want to put that in from the other side because we're right. We just said we want more contrast in the foreground. Yeah. All right.
I love it.
Let me paint some wildflowers in really quick and we'll call it a day. Dilapidated, crumbling villages would be kind of cool.
Yes,
something
definitely.
You could mine from materials like the bunny statues.
Definitely ruins. I want
more ruins. Honestly,
more
the ruins need
are the best.
more study.
I'm determined to play by the password.
Stephanie, no. Oops. Everything is just turning into...
So much yelling.
Stop fighting! I hate it when you guys fight. Alrighty. Draw some more cactus babies. Because there is life. I like this blue. I stole it.
Oh, Banto says, wouldn't mind finding a lonely house in the woods with some hearthling living there that hands you a quest, perhaps. It's so good, like spawning like a little like a hearthling or just other AI
Yeah.
actor kind of
I
hanging out there.
Gosh, yeah. There's. I would love to have
Think we
that
can
kind
do
of like
that.
presence in the world. If there was a way to do it, that would do wonders to make the world feel like it's actually living outside of your influence.
Hermits, yeah.
Hermits. I drew a hermit once. He rode a ram.
Hmm.
He was a magic hermit,
Magic.
the kind that hits you with lightning.
Sounds like a wizard from Lord of the Rings.
Basically.
What's the brown one? The brown wizard?
Radagast?
Oh yeah, that one.
All right. That feels pretty good.
I like that.
Pop in some highlights really quick. I'm doing that. One more thing. No, one more thing. One more thing. I actually really miss doing art streams, so this is super fun to unwind with everybody. All right. These are some pretty good studies. I'm into it. Didn't really get too much into the stylization question, but I don't know. I feel like these feel pretty at home in the scenery. I do want to explore these further, see if they need to be chubbier, fewer pieces, but for what we managed to cover today, it's pretty darn good. So I'm pretty pleased. I'm gonna go ahead and click save because I haven't all stream, and that is just courting disaster considering how much fun Windows has given us today. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all had a blast. I know we did. Where's my mouse? I don't even know. So yeah, we have a Wednesday stream coming up, not next week, but the week following, correct?
I have no idea.
I need to double check that.
I'll be there.
I thought I was going to be a super cool guy and be like, hey, join us on this date and this time. I'm sorry. But no, I know it is Wednesday after the 6th of May, right?
I have no idea.
Stephanie, help. Stephanie, I did a bad.
Sky whales.
But we will be there for
So
the quarterly Europe stream. We'll probably post something a lot more definitive on the website. Yeah, hope to see you there if you happen to be awake at 8:30 in the morning.
Stephanie says.
Wednesday, May the 9th. I was not a dumb liar face. Thank you, Stephanie. I should have written a note. At 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Woo! All right. Thanks you guys so much, and for all the suggestions. Those are going to help the explorations by a ton. I know the desert is really hurting for some cool ideas because I always start with these.
Idea.
Yeah, the Oasis is going to be really fun. I'm into it. So, oh no,
R.I.P. I just
sorry.
joined.
No.
Sorry, Killer Chris 12.
Hang in there. Okay. Catch you guys next time. And yeah, have a good one.
All right, bye.
Oh, I should do one of these, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm good at this.